Hey, what's up, guys? I couldn't find any really good videos on YouTube about this procedure or on this car, really. I know that this car is pretty much the same as Nissan Maximas, but with a different body type. Some of the procedures are different. So I have this 2001 Infiniti I30 that I've been overhauling. Um, it was sitting for a while, and I got it, and I thought that it was a very strong running car with 200,000 miles, so I just decided to go through and change a lot of shit. So this video is for the fuel pump. So I'm changing the fuel pump, and let me start off by saying that I do not have the repair manual, so all of this I had to just figure out really quick. But I also didn't see any tutorial video, so I'm going to make this in case anyone has this job. I think it's the same for 2000 and 2001 I30. So first of all, to get to the fuel pump assembly, it's under the back seat. Under the back seat, there are two pull tabs. Here's one right here, and then the other one's over there. So you can pull those, and you pull the seat up, and it comes right out. After that, this is where your fuel pump assembly is located, and that is your fuel tank right there. You got two hoses, an inlet and an outlet, as well as a electrical connector for the fuel pump itself. Couple of screws, 6 screws to hold on the gasket, and there's 3 screws to hold on the cover. Mine's was rusty, so I let it soak with PB Blaster. And they do have a Phillips head, but they're also I would suggest using an 8mm socket to get them out, because you know, once one bad turn with the screwdriver, you start stripping the inside of the screw and then you can't get it out. So I would just go straight ahead for an 8mm socket, 6-sided. I don't like 12-sided sockets. 6-sided always. You get more room, more walls to grip the bolt, less prevention of stripping. So now that I have the fuel pump out, be careful. Don't go slow, because these two things are inside. This is your level sensor. Tells you how much gas is in the car. So be careful when pulling this out, because they kind of just hang, and you got to pull it out, and you got to pull it straight up, and be real easy, be real careful. So the piece that we're actually changing is this. We're not actually changing the whole assembly. You can buy an assembly with all of this put together, but the cheapest route is to go with this guy. You can get them offline for like 30, 40, 50 bucks. And this is the fuel filter or screen. I haven't found out if there is a fuel filter on this car. I've been told that there isn't, and I've been told that there is. So I haven't looked into it yet. I'll look under the car later. But as of right now, this would be one of your the first filtering at the beginning of the filtering process is this right here, which is a little screen that's on the bottom. And when I took this out, there was a lot of sediment, a lot of dirt. This is probably rust from the top of the gas tank, or just dirt that got inside the tank. I'm not sure. I'm gonna clean this out fully. And these 3 little things go inside. They go down there on those little legs. And this top comes off. This top comes off of here. There is 3, let's see. Put this back on really quick. Show you guys. All right, so when this is in, you got one little tab right here. In the back, there's a 3rd one right there. And then on the side, there's another one right here. So you pull those 3s, that's for these outside walls. And then on top of that, you will have some plastic right here. You have to just take a flathead and push this in. And then there's another one over here. You push that in. So when you push all of that in, you can wiggle this out. This comes out. Once you get this out, this then is attached to here. And this attaches on the side, kind of like so. Now, since I don't have the repair manual, this was sitting inside of here, and let's see, do this with one hand. Basically, this sits inside here, and there's a groove that it sits in, right? Now it's in. This groove, there's a little resistance and a little play on it. So when you have this, I was looking all around here. I thought this unscrewed. I was trying to unscrew this. This hose was actually attached, and I kind of chewed it up a little bit trying to get it off, thinking that that was the problem, but it's not. So don't be like me and go for this hose, because this attaches here and it doesn't have to come off. So it doesn't have to come off to get this out. Basically, all you have to do is just apply some pressure right here on the top where the connector is and push this through the bottom, and that comes right out. So I don't have the new one in hand, but the new one's going to look like this. It's going to come with another screen and whatever little pieces that I need to put this back together. I'm going to clean down this assembly, make it look real nice, and then put the new pump in and put all of this back together. But I just wanted to give you a step-by-step walk through on how easy this process is, so you don't let the shops or these mechanic shops or the dealerships you know, sway you out of doing work yourself. This job was extremely easy. It's a step-by-step process, and I'm going to go over the steps one more time in case anyone wants to do it. First thing you do, clear your back seat. Underneath the seat, there's two tabs. There's one, and then the other one's over there. You pull those tabs, take out the back seat. Underneath the back seat, you're going to have this. There's 3 screws right there holding down the first cover. Those screws are, where did I put them? Oh, here they are. Put them over here. All right, so these 3 screws look like this. 1, 2, 3. Now, if yours are clean and not rusted, you could take a Phillips, get in there really good and get them out, or find the size socket, which I believe is not an 8. Yeah, these are not 8. So this is probably a 10 because they're all 10s. A 10mm bolt, and you can get that head out with the impact. So those 3 first. After those 3 come out, you're gonna have this ring. It sits on top of there. That ring has 6 screws in it. Also look like Phillips heads with bolts, and they're really small. They're really short. So when I was taking them out, I actually thought that I broke one because it was so little. And I don't have them because they're soaking in my vinegar rust bath, but they are really small. They're like this tall, all total, and there's 6 of them. So when you pull them out and you see how small it is, don't be alarmed. Don't think you broke anything. They're just really little. And they screw in right here, and you can see how thin this plate is. So that's why the screws are so small. There's 6 of those. You take those 6 out, and now you're down to the top of the fuel pump assembly. Now on the fuel pump assembly on this is not the same as the I-35. On the I-30, you have 2 hoses, and I'll show you right here, kind of. One has an arrow, and these are these 2 these disconnect clips. So when the hose is on there, what you're gonna do is squeeze this. It can be a pain in the ass sometimes, so use something flat at your disposal. I always keep a flathead screwdriver around because they are awesome. So I was using one finger to press this, with the other one pressing with the flathead, and you pull the hose that way, and it comes out. And these clips will be left sitting here. If you pulled everything out with the clip still attached, then that was wrong, and you'll probably have to replace it. The electrical connector goes here, and that's a push tab. You push it down and pull the connector out. After that, you're just left with pulling this up, and I want to reiterate to do this very carefully because these 2 are hanging inside the tank, and it's on a kind of a spring, so it's compressed. So as you take those screws up, it's going to come up. Those springs are going to release. You can pull this out as one unit, turn it, swivel it left and right, and wiggle it kind of diagonally so that you can get the whole thing out. It is a tight fit. You may have to press lightly on some of the plastic to get it out. But once you have it all out, this is now the disassembly of the fuel assembly, because this isn't the whole pump. This is actually the motor. This is just the assembly. So to get down in the assembly, like I said, once again, one clip right here, second clip right there, a third clip right there. You push those three in, you start to pull it up. And on here, you're gonna see white plastic right here. You take a flathead screwdriver, you press in, and then you come over here, you press in, and you continue to bring it up. These are the springs inside that compress and go back up to bring it back up. Once you have the top off, this will still be connected. I just disconnected this because I couldn't figure out how to get this pump out. This does not have to be disconnected. You keep this hose connected, and basically what you do is just apply some pressure through the middle. Right here what's connected will be, you push it out, and it will come right out of the bottom with the screen still attached. I want to say that this is, there's still gas in here. This is like your emergency reserve. So when you hear stories of people running out of gas and it said that they were on empty, but they were still able to make it home or make it to their destination, it's probably because they were using the little last remnants inside of here and running off of fumes and everything like that. So I'm gonna totally get this emptied out. I can see it's kind of dark in there, so that's probably dirty gasoline with dirt and sediment in it. And I'm trying to flush that as much as possible before I put the new one in and clean this out, put all this back together. And you put it in reverse of how you took it out. If you need to watch the video again, feel free to rewind. I'm doing a lot of work on this Infiniti I30. I've done a lot of work already, and I'm gonna make a video for every job that I've done for this car, for all the DIY people out here, the backyard mechanics, and the people that just want to save money, you know, from these dealerships and these mechanic shops that try and get over on you. This is a 2001. It's basically a Nissan, but it's Infiniti branded. It has a Nissan engine in it, so the parts are very cheap if you get them offline. A lot of the work you do not have to be a master mechanic to do a lot of part changing on this car. And I will show you through the rest of the videos how easy this stuff can be. These headlights I put in, the headlights were 120 bucks offline. They came from Amazon. They're direct replacement, direct fit. That's just some of the things, you know. 120 bucks, you can have brand new headlights, and they even come already. So all you have to do is just clip the factory clips into the ones that they provide, and everything works. And now this has daytime running lights. The rings around the headlights actually run during the day. I'm not gonna start the car, but here's the key for this. I'm gonna turn the key and show you guys real quick. I can't run the car because I have the oil pan and transmission pan dropped. So there's no fluids in the car. But if you want to see how cool they look, so this is actually off. Let me see. No, I didn't turn the key enough. Kind of scared to get the car to start. All right, so now the accessories are on. All right, so I lied. They're not gonna show with the car off. When it's running, you can see the rings will just run by itself. But manually turning on the lights, you can see them. They look really nice. So a couple other things that I've done on this. I've done the belt tensioner. I've done, let me get a light. Let's see. Really fun car. It's really nice actually, and it's actually pretty fast. And for it to have 200,000 miles and have been sitting for so long, it runs extremely well. The engine has great compression. It has no leaks from the engine itself. The oil pan was rusted out and leaking, but the engine block itself is still really good. So down there you can see, come on. It's coming out. Also, guys with the garage, your own garage and stuff, keep your shop way cleaner than mine. My garage is definitely a hazard. But there's the belt tensioner. I put a new belt in for the power steering and the AC and the other alternator and stuff. This car has 2 belts. I replaced the power steering pump itself. I replaced the power steering pressure hose, which is this. I took this cover off and just hit it with some primer paint. Cleaned all of these. I cleaned all of these plastic pieces real good. That's fresh power steering fluid. It's got a new battery. I just did all the spark plugs. The ignition coils are coming next. The shocks and struts were done like 2 years ago. They're still in good condition, so I don't need those. I completely overhauled the entire brake system, so I got new calipers, new pads, new rotors. And they weren't that expensive. They came painted already. Drilled and slotted rotors, because I do drive really fast, and if you are a speedy driver, you're gonna want to invest in your stopping power. Ceramic pads, so it minimizes brake dust. Ceramic pads are the best for low dust, and they last the longest. Things like that. That's the rear strut mount that has to get changed. That's rusted and old and starting to get brittle. This car is known for rust, but anywhere in the Midwest you can get a lot of rust. So the worst thing about this car is just the rust spots. It runs awesome. So brakes all around, new, brand new. I got a front suspension kit from Detroit Axle. It came with the lower control arms, the sway bar links. It came with the inner tie rod and the outer tie rod. And all of that was very easy to put in. New ball joints everywhere. They are greasable, so you have to grease up the ball joints yourself. That's the oil filter. That's the bottom of the engines, the oil pan that I dropped. It had some sludge in it too, so I'm glad that I dropped it. Over there is the bottom of the transmission. I got the trans dropped out of it. And my O2 sensors, they look pretty good. Exhaust is pretty good. It runs very well. It's quieter than my Audi. So yeah, I mean, I cleaned up the engine bay with a couple microfibers, a little bit of TLC. This car is nice. It's got leather inside seats, Bose sound system. 160 on the dash. I've done 125 in this car before for sure. It's got a self-closing, self-locking gas cover. It's nice. These wheels came off a G35. Infiniti G35 is the exact same center bore, so they bolt up and match up super perfectly, super beautifully. I love how it sits. So yeah, this is a better inside of the better view of the inside. I don't have any light over here. Let me see some light. It has a sunroof too. That's always cool. This is a better look at the suspension. Inner tie rods, outer tie rods, lower control arm. Sway bar link over there. Front shock, or front strut, I should say. Yes, everything went pretty good. Everything's easy to install. These calipers come with all the brake hardware. The ceramic pads are great. It also comes with 2 copper crush washers when you need to transfer over the brake line. Comes with everything. So I've spent maybe 2 weeks so far on this car, and I've done a lot. And I still have a couple of things to do. But if you come into possession of one of these and you want to do some maintenance on it and start, replacing pieces, a lot of this stuff is very easy to change. Your air filters are inside of here. Pop those 2 clips off and pop it up. This is your, this one, the throttle body. It's right there. Mass airflow sensors right here. Your throttle cable goes around. Your throttle cable, your air intake box. Your batteries right here. Some more fuses. Fuse box right here. Fuse box right here. This is your radiator right here. See, oil goes here. Cover, underneath this cover, you can see where the first 3 spark plugs are. And the other 3 spark plugs are in the back here. And your O2 sensor connectors are up here. There's 3 of them, and then the 4th one is over here. Right there. Here's one of your O2 sensors right there. Let's see if I can just see it. Yeah, right there, that's one of them. There's another one that you can see once you take this wheel off. You can get right to it. Underneath it, it's right before the cat. So yeah, with all of these little upgrades, I mean, this car looks and runs 10 times better. I've probably put in about $700 or $800 in just in different parts, and kits, even with the headlights, everything total. I still haven't hit $1,000 invested in parts. And of course, since I'm my own boss and I'm a mechanic, labor is free. Here's this engine mounts are right here. If anybody wants to know where your engine mounts are, there's one right here. There is another one over here. There's 4 in total. There's another one. Where's that guy at? I can see it from back here. Maybe not. It's probably behind this cover, but there's another one you can see from over here. Your CV axles are right here. If you're revamping the suspension, you do the CV axle too. You got to take the CV axle out anyway to take all of this stuff apart. So it's it's a no-brainer. Do all that shit at one time. Get a kit for it. This is a sway bar right here that goes back and connects to the other side. Inner tie rod back there, which connects to the rack and pinion. And from this direction, you can see the bottom of the transmission right there with the transmission filter out. This is the old transmission pan right here with the filter. That's the new one sitting next to it with new magnets. So I'm gonna make more videos to explain how to do everything that I've done to this car. In case anybody has or owns one of these cars, you can sit here and watch my videos and do all of these repairs for yourself, with the proper tools, of course. But everything that I've done so far, I have not needed to use any specialty tools except for, I wouldn't call them specialty tools, but they are tools that you need specifically for some of the jobs. For example, this is a magnetic swivel spark plug socket. that fits all the way down into the socket hole, and it holds the spark plug while you pull it out. It also swivels. That was awesome to have. I did the 3 spark plugs in the front in like 20 minutes. Another thing, if you're doing brakes, you're gonna want to get some of these. These are open-ended wrenches that hook around the brake line connector, and I'll show you what that looks like. You can use pliers if you want. You can use other wrenches if you want, but everything that I was working with was pretty rusty, so I used the best option of tool possible for me, at least. And this would go right. So how this works is you would put this over the cable, and then you bring it down, and you basically turn it like this, and this gives you 3 sides of turning power versus having a regular wrench, which gives you 2 sides. So I like this a lot. It hooks, so it's kind of like you're turning all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, you're turning 5 points. You're turning 5 points instead of a regular wrench. So that was super helpful with changing over the brake lines. Other than that, nothing really special. I had to go out and buy a bunch of different wrenches and different sizes that I needed, but I had needed that stuff anyway, so I just added it to the collection. And I think this car is awesome. You know, it's not a lot of these around. If you got one that's in decent shape, you know, you can spend a couple $100 and make it look better. Like I said, these lights were $120. I took the fog lights off and kind of cleaned them up a little bit versus buying some new ones. So, you know, it gives a good light. And these headlight assemblies came with the bulb. It came with the 2 bulbs, the high beam and the low beam already inside. The only thing I had to switch over was the turn signal bulb. Now I'll make a tutorial for that too. So thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to me if you want to see future videos. You'll get the notifications of everything. I'm gonna try and be as descriptive as possible and go as slow as possible so that I can really satisfy a lot of people that are looking to do work on this car. And that's pretty much how it was taught to me. I used to follow a mechanic around Taylor. I can't even speak right. Basically, I used to follow a mechanic, master mechanic around, and I used to watch him do everything, and I picked up a lot from him. And now I am my own certified mechanic with my own business, and this is what I do. I turn wrenches. So thanks for watching again, guys.